it is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and it's Saturday. That means it is May I Scraplift You? So today I am scrapbooking Sarah Davies, 72. So she is on Instagram as well as YouTube, and I found her through 30 Days of Sketches. So that is super exciting. And she has this super awesome layout, and I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media. I am starting with a piece of paper from my How to Kill a Kit with Style, and I just went through and picked some colors. So I have sweet mint, butter, blush, navy. Those are all the Heidi Swap ones. And then I have one pretty in pink, which is this one from Shimmers. So I did tons of splattering. And then this is that paper that I started out with. So I am going to make my center strip. And then instead of using the papers from my How to Kill a Kit with Style, I went through my scrap bin and I pulled out these papers. This one I know is Vicky Bouton. I think the gingham is Simple Stories. The yellow might be either a Jen Hadfield. I think it's Jen Hadfield. I'm not sure what the other ones are. But this is when I realized, so I looked at the sketch again and I was like, oh, it's not matching on every side, and that center strip is a lot smaller. So I'm going to tear that down, and then I'm going to continue layering up my layers. Now, she did some stitching, which I think I just forgot. Because I looked at her layout and then I was just kind of going with it, and then I referred back to it and I was like, oh yeah, there's this. Oh yeah, there's this that I like. So I definitely kind of went back and forth. Now, my layers are, I think, a little bit bigger. I'm not exactly sure. I know that I did a few like extra embellishment clusters for sure. This paper is from my How to Kill a Kit with Style, and so is this layer. This one is from that Simple Stories. They were like snap pages. And then the paper that I'm going to back my photo in is from my 6x6 Jack and Jill paper pad. Now, the photo is of my daughter, but the big part of it is my chai tea. So when we were at Yellowstone, when we got back to Old Faithful, it was almost time for it to erupt again. So we decided to grab some afternoon tea. And I actually got two, but there's not a picture of that. So I got a chai because I love chai. And then Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life has always talked about London fog. And I was like, you know what? I need to try one of those because they had one there. And so I got both. And I drank both. They were both delicious. And it was a perfect way to watch Old Faithful. We were at the lodge and my daughter got a tea as well. And so I just took her picture, but kind of took a picture. I don't know. I don't usually do pose pictures, but I guess I kind of did this time. So while I've been chatting about the picture, I pulled out some Distress Oxides in Abandoned Coral, Spun Sugar, Mustard Seed, and Peacock Feathers. And I actually pulled out a few stamps. Like, that's not like me, but she's got some stamping, and I really loved how hers looked. So I'm really trying to go that extra step. So I have several different stamps. I have like an Alta New stamp, a Heidi Swap stamp, I'm not sure what else. And then I realized that she has some texture base on her layout as well. So here I thought I was like done as far as my background goes, because I was already working on my layers on top. And that was when I realized that she had more fun things on her background. So this is a Scrapping Reflections stencil, and it's got some squares and triangles. It's super cool. And I'm using some Heidi Swap. It's like a metallic-y white texture paste, which if you watch my birthday haul, I got some texture paste, and at that point I didn't even remember where it was. So this was this was on my desk. So that's what I'm using. I have since found it. It's where all of my mixed media is, so that makes sense why I would have put it away there. Why I didn't look there, no idea. But I do like the metallic to this particular paste. So it's like a happy accident. So here's where I'm going to glue down my strips of paper, and I'm going to realize that my page is too long, and so I'm going to have to trim that off. So I thought this was one of just my cheapy packs of paper that I get from Joann's, the white cardstock, but it is actually a piece of Basil Avalanche. And the reason I didn't realize that is because I'm using the back. I don't know why, but when I cut that piece off and I flipped it over, I realized, oh look, I decided to play with the back side of paper, which it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of difference, except for the front side of the paper is definitely more textured. And I don't know if that would have made a difference, if I would have liked it more or less. So I have the background finally done, and now I am going to find some doilies. So Sarah has 2 doilies, and she has one white and one colored, so I'm going to do the same. I have this white one, which actually has 2, and I am trying to peel them apart. And then I have this kind of pinky one that I'm going to put down on the bottom where she's got her gold. And then I know I want a perspective like she does as well. I had 2 sitting on my desk, and neither of them were going to work. So I will at the end go dig through my Bramble Fox perspectives and find one. But for my embellishing, I am definitely going to use my How to Kill a Cat with Style. I'm going to start with these buttons. I'm going to pull out a few buttons that I want to use. And then I don't think these clips were initially in my kit, but there were 3 of them, and I actually have since used all 3 of them. So I left it in there. It's one more item to kill, which is super exciting. Now, Sarah has a little tab. I'm going to replace that with, it looks like 2 tags, but I think I'm only going to go with 1. And then I'm finally, I know the month is like halfway over, but I am finally going to dig into the florals for my How to Kill a Kit with Style, which was the whole reason. Maybe I'm going to get this voiceover done today. My husband keeps calling. All kinds of fun stuff. So I have those beautiful florals, and now I am going to pull out all of the teacups that I have in this kit. It's not that they won't get used any other time, because if you've been around a little bit, you know that I love my tea, and I do document it probably, well, I feel like it's actually a couple times a year. But at least once a year. So it's not like the teacups would go unnoticed. Well, I had 4 of them, and they're all going to make it on this layout. So those are fun. And then I add a little journaling spot, and I will go ahead and put those wood buttons down. And then, oh yes, this is where I went in and dug out my perspective. So it says warm and cozy. I mean, this was in the summer, so it wasn't like it was super chilly or anything. And it is a little more red than I thought it was, but I felt like it pulled the colors of the florals in a little bit more. So there is my layout. I have a couple of close-ups for you. Make sure that you head over to Sarah and give her some love. Because that is the entire point of this series, is to show some love. So that is going to do it. Make sure you check out everybody else who's playing along today, and remember to wear your crown. Bye.